everybody. That's our intro music that everybody's listening to on the radio. Good morning, and we're live on Facebook. Good morning, Facebook world. Yay! There's some blue thing on there. Can you look at that and see what that says?
Is it okay?
It
Did I mess it up?
How to play,
Okay.
like if you want to do that draw thing.
Got it.
But
Do I
last
want
time
to
it
draw?
wasn't.
Do you want to fix it? Do you want to fix it?
It's not showing
I don't
up.
think it's showing up on the thing.
Oh.
Okay.
You said it was
I
ready.
know. It's all the behind the scenes
Okay.
stuff you're getting on Facebook Live
All right,
today.
we'll start.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the 425 Show, your place to be for all things real estate and lifestyle related here on the East Side. I'm your host, Nicole Mangina with Windermere Real Estate. Welcome to a rainy, trafficy Tuesday. It is fall in the Northwest, and we have real estate updates today. Every month, Windermere puts out the stats for actually all of King County, not just the East Side. We will have those on the website after the show, NicoleMangina.com/podcast. And it's interesting. It's a balanced market. We track sales price, we track number of sales, and we track days on market per area, and they're pretty consistent this year versus last year. Prices, there's about a 3% swing up or down in each area, which is a little bit of a market indicator, but not a huge amount, because when you're taking a small area like that, you get one high price sale and that can skew the numbers. But days on market are pretty consistent, as are the number of sales. Tells us buyers are still out there, properties are still selling, and sellers are still getting great prices for their homes. So there you go. If you have more questions about buying or selling real estate, you can always find me via email, Nicole@NicoleMangina.com. And now, without further ado, the show is all about what makes the East Side a phenomenal place to live. And I'm excited to talk festivals today. The largest two-day festival in the state of Washington, voted best festival by 425 magazine. Issaquah Salmon Days is coming up.
That's right.
Yay!
Woo! Yeah! Yeah!
You're fired up.
Get it!
We've got Kathy McCory and Alan Finkelstein here to talk about Salmon Days.
Yes.
And it's coming up October 5th and 6th, so mark your calendar.
That's right. 19 days away. We're counting down.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay.
And salmon have already started arriving.
Yes.
So they're in the stream. They're coming home. They're ready for the party. They're just waiting for us to join them.
All right.
Yeah.
We're fired up. Let's do this.
Okay.
So tell us about, Salmon Days is a big deal.
It is.
You've got everything,
Yes,
right?
we do. It is, like you say, the largest two-day festival in the state of Washington. Has been for about 4 or 5 years now. On average, 150,000 plus people attend in 2 days.
Goodness.
Just to give you an idea, the population of Issaquah is under 40,000. So it's like we invite 4 of our favorite friends and family, each one of us, and we make it a party. But yes, it has everything. There is something for everyone at that festival. And we take great pride in making sure that whether you're 2 months or 100 years old, you're going to come to Salmon Days and you're going to have a great time.
Mm-hmm. And it's amazing, because you do, and you have everything. Whenever we go, I'm always amazed. You can tell there are a lot of people there, but you manage it beautifully.
Yes, we do have a pretty large footprint, so you can spread out into all different sections of the show. We have about 500 vendors that are there.
Okay.
So that spreads out the crowds pretty well. And then we also have 4 or 5 stages of entertainment.
4 stages.
4 stages of entertainment, and those are of course spread out throughout the festival. There's a beer garden, there's a wine garden, there's Field of Fun, and
Okay.
so it just goes on and on.
I love it. How did Salmon Days get started?
So Salmon Days was actually 2 things were going on at the time. There was an event Labor Day weekend that
Okay.
they felt had kind of run its course in the community, and they were looking for a replacement. And Kiwanis Barbecue needed some help, and Kiwanis Barbecue is older than we are. So the Salmon Barbecue actually started first, not Salmon Days, but they needed some help, and they were looking for ways to refresh it. And it happened to be that the chairman of the chamber board was also the chairman of Kiwanis. And so he got the 2 boards together and said, hey, why don't we start this new festival? Yeah, it's in October. Yeah, it's probably going to rain, but we have the salmon hatchery and we have the barbecue. And so it makes sense. So Salmon Days began 50 years ago.
Perfect. All right. And so like you said, there is actually a salmon hatchery in Issaquah.
Yes,
Which I think a lot of people don't know unless you have children that went to preschool, in which case everybody goes there on a field trip.
That's right. That's right. Every third grader goes to the salmon hatchery.
Which was super fun. I went on that field trip and learned a lot.
It is one of the largest hatcheries in the state, and what amazed me when I first moved to the area was when Alan told me he was going to take me to the hatchery. I thought, oh man, I'm wearing a suit. I needed to bring my hiking shoes. We're going to hike up the side of a mountain, and we park downtown, and we get out of the car, and we walk across the street. I'm like, it is right downtown.
There you
so
go.
it is amazing to me to have this awesome asset right in the middle of town.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And you were telling us before the show that let's talk a little bit about the salmon spawning experience.
Oh, that's right.
And then we'll talk about some of the fun ways you incorporate the whole salmon theme into Salmon Days, because it's pretty cool.
Okay, so Alan, you want to talk about when the first salmon arrived?
So this year, the first salmon arrived on August 19th.
Okay.
And it was a female salmon because women know the way to get there. Men will say they know how to get there, but the female salmon knows their way back.
Okay.
And, they start with little fry.
Okay.
And they raise them from fry, and then they let
Is
them
that what a
go
baby salmon is called?
Yeah.
A little fry?
Yeah,
Okay.
and they let them go in the Issaquah Creek,
Okay.
and these salmon go all the way up to Alaska. And
Do
then-
they really?
And then they come back when they're at almost the end of their life to
Okay.
spawn, and it's a great festival.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you that the weekend of Salmon Days, trying to see the salmon, it's like trying to get into a Seahawk game. There's lots of people there.
It's packed,
So,
yes.
it is.
Yeah,
But
so-
you see these big giant
you
salmon.
can see, and
It's
there's a
like-
fish ladder there, and
Mhm.
there's over the last 10 years, there's been a lot of remodeling done, so that you can actually see them swimming into the pools where they harvest them.
Okay.
And I know all three of my kids who are now old, doing their own jobs. They remember going all the way back to kindergarten
Mhm.
and watching it. And so two of my kids live out of state, and they brought my grandkids to town,
Oh, cute.
and it's something that is worth seeing. And like Kathy said, it's right downtown Issaquah.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Awesome. And you go all out on the salmon theme.
Oh,
for
yes,
Salmon
we
Days.
do. Yes, we do. So this being our 50th year, we are celebrating 50 years in your wildest dreams.
Okay.
So that
see?
is our tagline. We
I like
always have our little
Benny's
fishy
cracking
puns,
up.
and I
I love it. Every year
understand,
they've got such a creative one. Every year.
we don't have a fantastic time. We have a fantastic time
Okay.
in everything we do. Yes. And we have a group of volunteers that are titled the Extreme Team, but we spell it X-Stream.
Okay.
So everything has to have that little fishy reference to it.
Mhm.
And in fact, new businesses in Issaquah actually have a proclamation that's read to them that is full of our fishy puns. The king and
Oh.
queen of Issaquah actually deliver it, and there is a king and queen thanks to Salmon Days.
Okay.
And they go
Do
out.
they rain all year or
They
just
rain.
during
No,
Salmon
they
Days?
rain all year.
Oh, I love it.
They talk about the scales of commerce always tipping in your favor. We soulfully make proclamations. Yes, we could go on and on.
That's awesome.
And we don't do it for the halibut either.
Oh.
So you can imagine with 150,000 people coming to town, it takes a village to make this happen.
Oh,
Our
for
staff
sure.
at the chamber is about 7 paid staff.
Oh my
And
goodness.
then we have a committee of volunteers,
Mhm.
and some of them have been doing it almost 40 years. I'm a rookie. I've been involved with the committee for 10 years.
Oh, you're the
but-
new kid.
Yeah, I'm the new kid on the block, but it takes a village. We have a volunteer base of almost 450 people
I would
that
imagine.
come, and
That's a
they're everything
lot.
from high school kids up to some of our volunteers are over 80 years old, but they come back every year. They look forward to it.
Great.
And like Kathy said, we throw an open house for 150,000 people or more,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody comes. You know,
Yeah.
we've got arts and crafts booths. We have over 75 food vendors. We call it foods from around the world. So if you're looking for pierogies, we have that. If you're looking for burgers, we have that. We have, of course, some salmon dishes from Cajun salmon to salmon salad. We've got gyros there. I mean, you could eat yourself to heart's content. And as we were talking before we went live here, for a lot of these vendors, this is their last big hurrah of the year.
Right.
Because, we've already been through the bite of Seattle, and of course the Washington State Fair is going on right now. This is the last chance for them to, before they pack up all their stuff and let them go to, they're snowbirds, so they go to Arizona
Right,
to,
chase the sun.
to get their sun, but it's basically the biggest, the last biggest festival.
And I love it because I think it's just so accessible, and downtown Issaquah, I have always just adored. It is such a nice area, and I think it's a great way to bring people in.
Right.
So they can experience that between Front Street and Gilman Village, and I think it's Veterans Memorial Park. Our boys have
Yes.
played baseball
Yes.
down there
Yes.
a number of times. So we're very familiar with all the Front Street restaurants. And,
Right.
the
Front
different
Street
ones.
is tagline for that area of our town is called historically hip.
Okay.
And we believe it is. Where else can you go? Where downtown you've still got an operating dairy, and you look up at
Yes.
these huge red and white silos, and then immediately following, there's just all these great little bistros and cafes, pubs, wine tasting rooms. So yeah, when you come in to experience Salmon Days, you have great arts and crafts vendors to shop from, but you have amazing shops and galleries and restaurants behind the scenes, and really to experience everything, you need to get that behind the scenes experience as well, because you're missing out on some great food, entertainment, and shopping if you don't.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
a wonderful way to introduce people to downtown Issaquah, or remind them of all the
Right,
great things that are
right.
there. And
It is.
there's so many wonderful things.
And that's another reason that I think Salmon Days is so interesting and exciting to everyone, because we've got that mid-century charm. It's like stepping back into the 1950s. Everything from XXX root beer floats to the hatchery, you've got it all.
Exactly. And it's a well-planned event, because you could even do the 5K little fun run
That's right.
ahead of time if you feel like you need to
There you
Get
go.
ahead.
Burn off some
Yeah.
calories. Yeah.
get ahead of your
absolutely.
food intake for
Yes.
the weekend.
In fact, we should mention that because Saturday morning we actually kick off with a parade. So
Mhm.
there's about
I love
100
parades.
entries from all over the state that come to be in the parade. And then Sunday morning is the Run with the Fishes 5K run.
Perfect.
So yes, so you can pick your activity and kick off your day each day with something really fun and exciting to do.
That's wonderful. That's great. And you have a master of ceremonies as well.
We do. We have,
Yes.
yes, Sammy the Salmon
Yes.
is our master of ceremonies. Yes,
Okay.
he's been around for a long time.
Great.
And he and sometimes even the city mascot, Sasquatch, will come out
Oh.
and they'll pair up together.
I can
And
only
what's
imagine.
interesting about them is Sammy is 4 and Sasquatch is about 400. So, but they make a good team. We've asked them before how old they are, and they hold up their little fins and fingers and count.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because fish don't actually talk, but Sammy does communicate quite
Oh,
well
there you go.
regardless. A few years ago, he actually ran for president.
Oh.
So it was an election year, and so Sammy decided he wanted to run for president.
I love it.
He had a security detail at the parade to keep
Okay.
him safe.
Its own little version of Air
Yeah,
Force One.
He gets out. Yeah.
I like
he's,
it.
He's been to Pike's Place.
He went to the Space Needle.
He went to the Space
Oh,
Needle.
okay. That's
He went
awesome.
out to the Ballard Locks to
Ballard
see,
Locks,
see
yes.
his friends coming home.
Yeah, so
Okay.
he gets around.
All right.
It's not just this one.
So we also have lots of entertainment. As Kathy said,
Yes.
we have 4 stages.
Mhm.
We have our main stage, which is down at the community center.
Okay.
And our entertainment chair, a gentleman named David Harris, he's one that's been on the committee for about 40 years.
Mhm.
And he brings together the greatest group of bands. And this year and if you want more information about that, if you go out to salmondays.org,
Perfect.
the entertainment schedule's there. Sunday afternoon is going to be an all-star band.
Okay.
And for the life of me, I forgot who, he's got all-star, different people from different bands. And so we're going to have the drummer from one band, a guitar player.
Oh,
from a
that's
different
always
band.
fun to see how they come together.
We tried it last year, and these guys, they look forward to working with, some of the people that they've been on stage with or have heard. And that's where our beer garden is located too.
Okay.
And the entertainment is always great. And, one thing Kathy didn't talk about, this is a free festival.
Right,
So
which is
there's-
a big deal. That
Except,
sounds
except for what
huge.
you're going to buy to eat or the
Right.
arts and crafts, all the music is free. There's a little fee, but you can imagine with 150,000 people coming to town, we don't have that many parking places.
Right, the
so
parking gets a little exciting, but it always works out. I've
Right.
always been
we
able
we
to
have
find
3
a spot.
shuttle stops,
Yeah.
and that also is on our website.
Okay.
The website is the greatest place to go for anything and everything you want to know about Salmon Days. But it does cost a couple of, I think, $3 to come in. It's a one-way, it's a round-trip shuttle, but you pay one way.
Got it.
We don't just bring you there and make you walk back. But, we need to do that because as she said, downtown Issaquah is, it's very compact.
Mm-hmm.
But we park up in the Issaquah Highlands. We also use a couple of park and rides. And,
Oh, sure.
We get everybody in safely. And
Perfect. Awesome. Again, if you're just joining us today, we are talking about the Issaquah Salmon Days, the largest 2-day festival in the state of Washington. This year it is on October 5th and 6th.
Right,
Yes.
from 10 to 6 both days.
From 10 to 6. And if you want all of the information, the website is
salmondays.org.
salmondays.org. So you can look up probably all the different vendors.
That's right.
You can plan your food intake. I like to do that. It's my whole motivation
There
for
you
going
go.
is to eat. So you can plan your food intake, you can plan your music,
There
all
you
of
go.
that.
All of that. You can make a whole fun weekend out of it.
Mhm.
And I should mention too that there's about 70 plus nonprofits
Oh,
that are also out there. They use it as fundraisers. I mean,
Great.
we have the Boy Scouts out there. We have Cadet Corps. We have ROTC, Girl Scouts, every single
that's wonderful.
high school sports team you can imagine. So they're all out there to help everyone to raise awareness, to raise funds. We've got, I think, 4 different robotics classes that are coming
Oh, my
from
goodness.
different high schools that will be there showcasing their robotics. So again,
Oh,
there's
that's
just something
amazing.
fun, and as
Fascinating.
Alan mentioned, it's all ages
Mhm.
that get involved and come up with great activities. So it's really, you really get a true sense of community. You
Mhm.
get to experience all ages out there, not just for your own enjoyment, but to see what they bring to the table. And from a producer's standpoint, I have to say, it is pretty impressive to watch our youth come in with just the most creative
It's to me it's
projects.
mind blowing
Yes.
and so cool to see what they come up with.
It really truly is.
Yes.
They're just amazing to watch, and they come in and they volunteer. If nothing else,
Mhm.
they're there helping people find their booths, helping vendors set up. But it's a great feeling just to know that it's not just the Chamber of Commerce, but it
Mhm.
is truly just the entire East Side communities get involved, and they come in and they want to be there and talk to the public and
Mhm.
share their knowledge and information, and you get to see a little bit of that too. It's very cool.
That's another thing that I really enjoy about festivals, because they're things that maybe you wouldn't seek out normally or didn't even know were
Right.
there. And then to be in an environment where you can, like you said, experience that, find out a little bit more about it,
Yes.
and get
Yes.
involved with things. I think it's
Absolutely.
wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
One of the other highlights we've had for many, many years is called Doc Dogs.
Okay.
This is where people bring their dogs, and you may have seen this on TV where they
Benny's giving it a thumbs up.
Oh, my kids love
they
the
run
dog.
off the dock
Yeah.
and then how far they can jump.
Oh,
Into
really?
the water.
You
Wait,
take
at
it-
Lake Sammamish or where?
No,
do
no,
they-
No, they have their
in
own-
a giant pool.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
In the Field of Fun, what you refer to as
Okay.
Veterans Memorial Park is turned into our Field of Fun.
Okay.
And so Doc Dogs is over there, and they have competitions going throughout the day.
To see how far the dogs can jump.
If
in.
you have
That's
a
awesome.
great dog jumper that loves the water, this is a great opportunity to compete. Doc
Oh.
Dogs is a worldwide organization.
Oh, okay.
So
Do you ever have any like get stage fright and they get stuck on the? Is it like a diving board?
So
Are they, like,
no,
doing
they
little
have
flips
to
into the
they
water?
have to actually just run
Uh-huh.
and jump into the pool. So
Huh.
and then there's
All right.
measuring along the way.
Okay.
But most of the dogs are professionally
They
trained.
know what they're doing.
I do.
I'm trying to
think they
picture my
have-
dog out
yeah.
there. I think it would not be.
Yeah.
My dog would just run the other way.
She'd be like, "You guys are dorks. What are you doing?"
You do it first.
That's right.
Yeah.
When you take a day like today when it's 50-something outside,
Yeah.
we're all freezing and the dogs are, you think you're cold, get out of the
I
water.
know. I'm gonna
Right,
sit here
right.
and eat a cookie or something.
They love it. They go to town. And then there's a lot of activities out there, actually. Field of Fun is a great area area for families because there's all kinds of activities. Spring Free Trampoline is out there with their
Those are great.
trampolines.
Yeah.
So you can have some fun, safe jumping experiences. Arena Sports is out there with a inflatable soccer field, so the kids can play soccer. Last year they added a Gaga pit. So
Oh, I
there's
still don't know what that
going
is.
on.
The kids all
So
play it.
it's kind of like dodgeball in
Okay.
a confined area.
Okay.
So
How could that go wrong?
yeah. Well, you'll have to come and watch it and find
Okay.
out.
I think I'll have to
Yeah.
spectate on that one. Versus
Overlake
participate.
Hospital has a giant obstacle course,
Oh,
so
fun.
kids can run and skip and hula
Mhm.
hoop and compete for prizes. There's just all kinds of exciting things out there. Fish Prints is another one. Hilton Garden Inn and Homeward Suites sponsor Fish Prints, where we actually have large rubber fish
Uh-huh.
that you can paint,
Uh-huh.
and then you do an impression on a piece of paper, and we hang it up to dry while you're out playing, and then you can come by later and you can actually bring home your handmade piece of art
So,
for the show.
Jen, my assistant, has this art in her home.
Oh, you do?
Because she did that with her boys when they were little. They're big
See?
now.
And
but-
you saved it?
Yes.
I think so.
Yes, you're cherishing it for
Yes.
forever.
I bet it went on the refrigerator for a while.
It's definitely not in a rubber made up in my
It's in a
attic.
built frame.
Yeah, but anyway, there's plenty to do in the park, and I think this year there actually are going to be little drone areas. So
Oh.
this is one that I'd like to do, but supposedly it's just for kids. I don't know.
I think it needs to be tested ahead
I
of
think
time.
so,
though, right?
but you can actually go into this netted area and you can learn to fly a drone.
Oh, that sounds
it
fun.
sounds really cool.
Yeah, I just sound like something my kids would be better at than me, though.
I don't know. I could crash a drone with the best of them. I think.
I have faith in you. Alan, what are some of your favorite parts of Salmon Days?
I think as my kids grew up in Issaquah, you know, going with my wife and the kids, my son who played in the Issaquah marching band, he was in the parade all 4 years. My daughter
That's
was in
great.
the Navy ROTC at Issaquah, and so they did all the security back then. And so just the memories of spending the time with them there. You know, being 50 years old, we've had to every year try and reinvent something because we want to stay fresh.
Sure.
I think 2 years ago we added a wine garden, and this year
Okay.
we're bringing that back. We brought it closer into the festival. It's going to be right next to the library, so I guess you'd go read a book and
Drink
have
some wine?
drink some wine.
That's
You're right.
good. That's my
But
Saturday
we're
afternoon.
you know, and we've as Kathy said, what's going on in the field of fun. We've kind of evolved to watching what kids are playing. You know, the different types of inflatables, not the kind of blow away like you see on the news. We want to be safe, but just how it evolves. And you know, there's like different segments of people that come. There are people that come every year because they have to come. There's people that come every couple, 3 years. And now that I've been involved with the committee for, like I said, a short amount of time, relatively speaking, you know, you almost need to come every year because every year we're adding something new. You know, the musicians we have, the bands that we have, they can't come except for maybe once every 4 years.
Oh,
'Cause
sure.
We want to keep it fresh, and most of these are, almost all of them are local bands.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have vendors that come as far away from Southern Oregon, from the Olympic Peninsula, Idaho, and Canada, and they come down. All the arts and crafts that are sold have to be made locally. We
I
don't
love
find
it.
any made in China type stickers. And now with tariffs, I don't think you'd want to have anything made in China,
Right.
but you know, we want to keep it local. And the vendors that come, they have come for many, many years. One of our food vendors, Ballard Brothers, he does salmon burgers and regular burgers and stuff. He's 37 years he's been coming.
Oh my goodness.
And yeah, I finally made it to his bricks and mortar restaurant over in Ballard just to see what he does. But you know, so that it's almost like a family as we go. And you know, this takes a whole year. We'll start planning
I
next
can
year's
imagine.
on the 8th of we give you guys the 7th off, and then we start again on the 8th of October planning for next year.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, that speaks huge volumes. If you've been doing it for 50 years and you've still adjusted and found ways to be relevant, and if you have vendors that have been doing this for
Right.
almost 40 years,
Right.
you know, that's a big
It is.
thing.
It's
That's
a
something to
tradition.
be really proud of
Mm-hmm.
for everybody who puts it on in the city of Issaquah, and I just think that's great.
We think so too. There is one new thing we haven't touched on is we added a farmer's market as well.
Oh, yay.
Because you know, in September tends to wrap up most of the farmers
It's
markets
true.
in the area.
Yeah, they've got a
And yet
week or
there's
two
still
left.
some great fall produce out
Mhm.
there. And so if you want your pumpkin and your squash and all of those wonderful winter fruits and vegetables, they're still available.
Oh,
And
good.
so we now have a farmers market section of the show as well. So really, truly, again, something for everyone.
That's great. Very cool. Anything else? Anything, if we're there, we've got to be sure we check it out.
So we might mention, we're
Alan
hesitating
has-
because
okay.
You have to talk about our Grand Marshal.
oh, okay, that's a thing I can talk about. I
Yes.
thought you were gonna ask me about the carnival.
No.
There might be a carnival, let's just say
Okay.
that.
Maybe.
a
Wink,
carnival.
wink.
But yes, we're also very excited to announce this year's Grand Marshal. His name is Brian Clay.
Mhm.
And if you follow the Olympics,
Mhm.
you will recognize him from the 2008. He was the gold medal decathlon winner, and
Wow.
he happens to live right in Issaquah.
No
And we
way.
thought, since this is our golden event,
Mhm.
what better way to celebrate it than with a gold medal winner. So Brian
Amazing.
Clay will be our Grand Marshal, and then he will also be at the main stage Saturday at 3 p.m. so that people can meet him and ask questions. But amazing man, and of course now he's a motivational speaker. He goes all over the world talking about being determined and how to really put your best self forward in everything that
Mhm.
you do.
He's an amazing man.
He
I was
is.
looking at his website. He's got a story. It's
He
a good
does.
one.
He
It's
does.
empowering,
yes.
for sure.
Yes. And so very excited to have him join the team this year.
That's wonderful.
Sometimes we have to twist arms to get Grand Marshals, and it was an easy ask. We asked him, and he said, "I'm in."
Oh, yay.
So, I know we've gone over a lot in a short amount of
Mhm.
time. I do want to push our website again, the
Yes.
salmondays.org, because there's lots and lots of stuff there, and it's phone friendly, so you can
Mobile friendly.
mobile friendly, so you can download it.
Perfect.
You keep it on your phone, and
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it's Issaquah Salmon Days, first weekend of October, the 5th and 6th this year. It's all over downtown Issaquah. You can't miss it. Just go to downtown Issaquah. You will end up at Salmon Days.
Right.
And you've got something for everybody. It's
We
just
do.
a great way to celebrate fall in the community and the city of Issaquah, which is such an amazing place to live.
Well, and thank you. We hope you
Yes.
do come and enjoy it.
We
hope
will be
everyone
there.
comes and enjoys it.
For sure. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. We'll also have the details on the website after the show, NicoleMangina.com/podcast. Have an amazing week, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Bye, everybody.